India is one of the fastest growing economy in the world. And for any economy to grow faster or to get more projects in place, the most important thing is infrastructure theme, right? Infrastructure should be very strong. And in this discussion, about what are all the possibilities in infrastructure and how India is growing to build a robust road network or a national highways network we'll be discussing today, right? What are all the future growth prospects and what are all the companies which are involved in this particular growth? We go through them today. And if you have earlier missed, we have had a discussion in our earlier YouTube video regarding what are the sectors to focus, right? After the budget has been announced. So within that sector, we have also discussed infrastructure as a theme where compared to last year's spending, we had a significantly increased spending this year or on infra theme, right? Any one of you have missed that? Yes, you can go to the earlier YouTube video on the key sectors to focus for 2024, right? There we have discussed on the infrastructure theme and other key sectors. So today we'll be specifically focusing more on infra as a theme, right? So without any further ado, let me share my screen and let's start the discussion on infrastructure theme. So we'll be dividing this into 4 parts. First, what are all the key factors to look into this dominant infra theme? We will be looking what kind of a focus is there from the Indian government, right? Government of India. And we look at the national highway spread, right? National highway network, how it is spread. What are the future growth prospects we will look. And lastly, the companies which are there in the listed space in infra theme, we will be analyzing technically in charts as well, right? So first, looking at the key factors, India has the second largest road network, right? India has the second largest road network, and the kind of a spending that has been into the road network from last couple of years, or the kind of a breadth we have expanded is like a very consistent growth, right? In 1991, if you look at it, we have like 2.3 kilometers, 2.3 million kilometers, whereas in 2001, 3.4 million, 4.7 million in 2011, and we are at almost 6.6 million kilometers in 2023 as per Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, right? So this is a significant growth, right? This is a significant growth, and this road network will help us, right, for the entire projects and even any FIIs, right, or even any FPIs, right, the foreign portfolio investors, or anyone who are trying to establish their units in India. This plays a very significant role, right? This plays a very significant role. Like if you recently see Elon Musk, right? Tesla wanted to establish their manufacturing hub and wanted to expand more, right? Wanted to expand more. So these are key factors which they look whether logistics wise, freight transport wise, is it a viable business to do, right? Is it a viable business to do? So going forward, there are a lot of investment which will happen in this segment, and government's focus will be there. So what we do, the simple rule of investments for a longer period and to ensure our odds are in favor is you have to identify the right sector, right? This is the holy grail of investing. If you have identified the right sector to invest, and within the sector, if you have identified the right stocks to invest, right, 95% of your stock selection process would mainly rotate on this holy grail of investing, right? Identify the key sector, and within the key sector, identify the key stocks where we need to be there, right? Where we need to be there. Now, apart from the road network, right? So our country's freight traffic, right? Out of the 6.6 million kilometers, 65% of the country's freight traffic is taken care of this. And the passenger traffic Yes, 90% of it is taken here. Now, out of this entire road network, if you look at it, what is the spread of national highways, right? Yes, NH is where the major transport happens, right? The major transport happens. The crown jewel of India's road infrastructure is national highways, right? So the best part is, with respect to national highways, yes, we are the second largest national highway network after US, right? So we are the second largest after United States. And there is a lot of room here, right? There is a lot of room. So out of 6.6 million kilometers of the entire road network, our national highway network is 1,46,145 kilometers, right? Which is like 2% of the India's total roadways, right? So with respect to the total road network we have, our national highways is just 2% of it. So there is a lot of room to expand there. And even globally, if you see, our national highway network is the second largest after United States, right? After United States. So this national highway network supports 40% of the nation's traffic. And yes, this is a lifeline for trade and travel, right? Trade and travel. As you know, it's not the road network where the major traffic or where major the logistics will be taken through. It's on the national highways, right? So apart from this, let's look at what government is focusing, right? Where is the major spending happening? Yes, government of India is focusing more on highway construction because that reduces the time and it leads in more revenue distribution, right? Revenue distribution. And if you look at the numbers, right? If you look at numbers from financial year 2015 to financial year 2013, right? Earlier it was like 91,000 kilometers, and within last 8 years, right, 54,000 kilometers of national highways has been added, right, taking the total from 91,000 to 1,45,000 kilometers approximately, right? So if this kind of a traction is happening, and if you compare last year's budget on infra, specifically into the road and national highways, and this year if you look at it, there has been a substantial increase, right? And this road network is consistently building up, right? Is consistently building up and consistently increasing. So within this spread of national highway, if you look at it, the major concentration, right? States which have the highest concentration of national highway network as per Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, Maharashtra, right? Maharashtra has 18,500 kilometers spread, and it accommodates 102 national highways. And next, Uttar Pradesh at 12,300 kilometers, Rajasthan 10,700, Madhya Pradesh 9,000 kilometers, and Andhra Pradesh 8,700 kilometers, right? So these are the top 5 states with respect to the concentration of national highways, right? National highway network. And even if you look at Tesla, right, where majority of the orders, right, or even the projects used to come in Gujarat and some concentrated states. Now, even if you go with the recent information, there are many states which are coming for the competition, right? This is a healthy competition, right? Even Rajasthan has proposed for establishing Tesla unit there, right? So this competition is very healthy, right? Very healthy. And with that, the national highway constructions also will be picking up a very good boost. So when there is a lot of logistics, right, when there is a lot of trade movement that is happening, that will lead to the growth of the Indian economy as well, right? Indian economy as well. So with this theme improving, if you look at what is the future growth, right? What is the future growth? First, under NIP, right, which is National Infrastructure Pipeline, right? National Infrastructure Pipeline, which is the lifeline of India's logistics and transportation network. right? Transportation network. So under NIP, around 2 lakh crores has been allocated for the construction of Indian roads from 2020 to 2025. This is the budget only under national infrastructure pipeline, right? Infrastructure pipeline. So we understand, we get to know what kind of a focus government is spending on it. And in the recent union budget, the allocation is 2.7 lakh crore rupees to the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, which is higher from the previous year estimates. And Government of India always tries to cut short the travel time and improve more productivity, right? More productivity. And they're focusing on key cities like Delhi, Dehradun, Haridwar, Jaipur, Chandigarh, and Amritsar, right? Like if you look at a manufacturing plant, if there is a engine, right? If there is a manufacturing machine which has a capacity utilization of, let's say, 70%, right? We always intend to increase the capacity utilization to 80 to 85% so that we get more productivity out of them. Similarly, if we try to reduce the travel time between key cities or the transport of the logistics, that helps in more trade coming in, right? More trade coming in within the same resources, right? Within the same resources. So that's why there's a lot of funding happening here. Now, apart from this entire infra theme and the focus or the push of Government of India, let's look at what are the key companies or what are the listed peers in the infra theme where we can see a probable good growth, right? Good growth in terms of stocks movement, right? In terms of stocks movement. So we will go to trading view and let's analyze them technically, right? Let's analyze them technically how well they are going. So when we speak on infra, yes, one of the company which we can easily recollect is Larsen and Toubro, right? Yes. So if you look at L&T, yes, L&T is a company where we can look for a longer time period, right? Like a weekly time frame. And there are some good order books, good projects are in pipeline, right? And instead of a short term, if you look on the long term, right? And when we look at the quarterly earnings, right? In the last couple of quarters, like 4 to 5 quarters also, a very good growth, right? The numbers are not disappointing at all. Earnings per share, if you see, or even the sales growth is a considerably good growth. And someone who are like very intelligent or smart investors, right now we have March 2024, right? March 2024 quarterly results. April is a month where we get quarterly results. January, February, March 2024 quarterly results. So we can just have a check or we can keep a track of this March 24 quarterly results with respect to March 23, right? March 2023, if there is a YOY, year on year growth, yes, for a longer term, it makes sense to be there in the infra theme, right? In the infra theme. Apart from that, yes, we have IRB infra, right? IRB infrastructure, yes, which is in a good trending zone, right? Which is in a good trending zone, even in a weekly scale, right? Even in a weekly scale, yes, it is doing wonderfully well. Even in the last 2 weeks, right? Even in the last 2 weeks, there is a considerable growth, right? There is a considerable growth happening. Apart from IRB infra, Ashoka, right? Ashoka Buildcon, yes, Ashoka Buildcon Limited into the infra theme, right? Infra theme, yes, technically looking good. And even you can look at the quarterly results, right? How has been the quarterly results moving? So March 2024, let's see how the numbers would be coming, and accordingly we'll see how the direction would be moving. Yeah. And Sadbhav, yes, Sadbhav Engineering. So this is a company, if you see, yes, right now technically not very strong, right? Right now technically not very strong. If you look on a weekly scale, yes, it is in a stage 4, right? Is in a stage 4, and from last 6 months and more, it is trying to pick up, right? So this can be a turnaround story, right? This can be a turnaround story. We will look at it whether how it moves going forward, right? Like how it moves going forward, because in the last 2 weeks, barring this week, in the last 2 weeks, there is some good volume that is coming up. So as a high risk investment, we can consider. The reason I call it high risk, all the investors who have been there would be waiting for an opportunity to move out, because yes, they have been waiting from 2018, 2019, 2020 to move out, right? So whenever they get at break even, they would love to move, right? So we need to have more patience, but yes, it can be a good turnaround story, right? Good turnaround story. And KNR Construction, yes, very good company where we can study it, right? We can study a wonderful business model, right? A wonderful business model, and it is almost in a sideways or forming a base from last 2.5 years. But yes, the order book which it has with respect to the road and highway sector, good order book they have, right? The quality of the business is good. I would ideally look KNR Constructions under a weekly time frame, and once there are good numbers that this company comes out, very good company to watch out. And anything above 275, right? Once it crosses 275, I think there is a lot of progression which we can see in this company, because 275, you see, has been a strong resistance from almost July 2021, right? Which is close to 3 years of resistance. So this breakout above 275 with a good price and volume is important. And if you carefully observe, yes, in the last 6 months, there has been very good volume that is coming up, but somehow this resistance has been very strong. And if you look at numbers compared to the other companies in the same infra theme or in the road and highway sector, this has been with some decent numbers. I would not say great numbers, but decent number, right? Decent number. So yes, we can study this, we can focus, and let's see how it moves, right? We will cover some more companies in this theme. Delete Buildcon, yeah, similar like our Sadbhav Engineering, right? So it can be a revival story, right? It can be a revival story. So the journey will not be very smooth going forward, but yes, we can track this, right? We can track this. Apart from Dilip, PNC, right? Yeah. So PNC Infratech Limited, yes, technically has been strong, right? Technically has been strong, and charts wise, price and volume is good. And even in the last 1-2 months, right? In the last 1-2 months, yes, the volumes have been very decent. Price action is also strong. This week, not great action has been done because the overall market scenario wise also, but yes, technically looking good, right? Technically looking good. NCC Limited, yes, NCC Limited also in the same space, yes, doing good, right? Doing wonderfully good. And technically, yes, has been strong. Your J. Kumar Infra Projects, right? Your J. Kumar Infra Projects, yes, technically looking good, right? Technically looking good. So charts wise, price and volume has been good. So now what we will do, sir, how do I look whether the entire theme of this infra is moving or not? You can build a custom index, right? You can build a custom index. So what I will do, yes, J. Kumar Infra Projects, I will add Larsen and Toubro, right? I'll add Larsen and Toubro. I just kept a plus symbol. I will add KNR Constructions, right? Yeah, I will add KNR Constructions plus IRB Infra. Yeah, IRB Infrastructure plus Ashoka Buildcon plus Sadbhav Engineering. You can just keep on adding like that, right? Dilip Buildcon, Limited, right? So I've added majority of the stocks. Yes, you can completely add what are all the stocks which you are tracking here and press and enter. So what's happening? Yes, the combined strength of all the infra team or the road and highway sector team, right? Some companies which are listed in the Indian market that focuses on the road and highway sector, if you see the combined strength, yes, the strength has been tremendously strong for the last couple of months, right? For the last couple of months. So yes, when the sector is trending and within the sector we focus on few stocks, the success rate would be much higher. And quarterly we check the data even in screener. If quarterly numbers wise also it is doing good on earnings per share, revenue, net profits, that's where we focus more on it. And yes, if you wanted to save it, you can just right click and add all this watch list to any of your watch list, right? Maybe I'll just add it to the basket of ETFs, right? Basket of ETFs. So yes, after you go and you track on other companies, right? Yeah, let's say you're tracking on Varun Beverages like that, and you wanted to go back and check what's happening in the entire infra theme, you just go to the watch list where you have saved and you just click on it, right? You just click on it. So you got the combined strength of this entire infra theme, right? So you can create your own custom index of what you are tracking, right? You can create the custom index of what you are tracking, right? What you are tracking. And yes, there are like various opportunities to invest where you can invest into the stocks, you can invest into the infra theme, into the mutual funds, infra theme into the ETFs, right? Infra Bs, right? Like a quant mutual fund. So yes, there are a lot of projects that are happening and there is a lot of growth of infra theme because of the focus of Indian government into this particular segment, right? Into the particular segment. Okay, good. So let me know below what are all the key companies that you are tracking or you have already invested in the infra theme and you wanted to add more into it because you see a lot of future perspectives in this segment, right? Let me know below which are the stocks that are there in your radar, in your watch list. Okay.